Kia ora, welcome to Uncovering Authenticity. I'm Monique Bradley. I'm a storyteller and I'm a real advocate for people owning their amazingness and showing up in their own lives and sharing their magnificence with the world. And today I have a really cool guest. I have known her for many, many years. She is beautiful on the inside and out. She is an entrepreneur. She's a fashion model. She has a giant heart. She's a heart on legs, and I'm really delighted to have her here in the studio. Welcome to the studio, Vanessa Bennett. Yay! I wish we had a big studio audience with us.
Oh, so I just saw myself walking, a heart on legs. That's a great vision.
But you are, Vanessa. I've known you for so long. Now, before people who don't know you, you've got quite the history in showing up.
Oh, thank you.
So tell everybody listening and watching, tell us a bit about your background, because you've been seen for a long time.
Oh, that's. I think maybe I have, but I don't see myself like that. So I arrived in Auckland, I think, when I was about 20 years old, maybe 19. And I was a model when I was young. I did fashion model. I worked in magazines. I had a passion for magazines. And I think for me, I just love people. I love being around people. I love supporting people. I love helping people. So that has kind of become my lifelong goal, especially with women, building women into businesses. iMagazine's 27 years old now. So kind of, I look back when I was young and I looked at magazines and someone who was 20 years old and they were like, the Oprah of magazines. And now it's us. And now, I still feel 16, but I'm growing up. I'm 51. I'm growing up. An actual
still 16 on the inside.
Now. Yeah. So and we've had obviously the Beauty Book and New Zealand's Best Dining and Chinese iMagazine and iMagazine and now Panic PR. So all of the businesses we have are around women mainly, because women are the high stats in reading magazines. Women and young females growing and becoming entrepreneurs. That's a big focus for our brand. And
increasing visibility, because obviously, Panic PR, that is about highlighting stories and visibility for people.
Yeah.
I want to jump back to when you first arrived here. Young aspiring model, what was it like getting into the industry at that time?
You ate a banana a day. You had to be thin. You looked at your body every day. You made sure you were thin. If you wanted to do the shows, you had to have, if you wanted to do bend on, you wanted to do moon tide and all those things, you had to have the right body. So there was a lot of focus on training, not eating too much. We smoked cigarettes like crazy because that stopped you being hungry. It wasn't a healthy lifestyle at all. I think, unless you're on the cover of Elle, by that time you're 16, it's always going to be just bread and butter work. So, it was difficult. And I think it wasn't good for your self-esteem.
Wow.
It wasn't something that I loved doing it because I always believed in myself. I thought I was fabulous whether I was or wasn't. And I used to strut down and smile at everyone when I wasn't meant to be smiling. Yeah. But I think it's a dangerous path for many, many models. They get caught.
And a lot of our young women are starting modelling. And I don't want to shame the industry, because it's also an incredible industry that some of our models have done extremely well. We're seeing women as young as 14 with that pressure, but they are doing really well in the industry. Do you think the industry's changed and is looking after our young models now?
I definitely think it has. I think it's incredible. If you look at Fashion Week and you see plus-size models, you see, models in wheelchairs, that's quite amazing that we look at all people and all women and all men and all races. So there's less judgment, but there still are people in the industry, and especially in the fashion design industry, that will only put size 8 and 10 in their garments. And they judge it. They don't want anyone that's officially fat. And that's disgusting to me. I was recently fat shamed by a designer, and I'm a good, healthy size 14.
Which is actually the standard size for a woman, apparently.
Well, I'm happy with my weight, and he's so often texted me that I needed to lose weight and I need to do this and I need to do that I stopped eating for 3 days. And, my husband had to say to me, "What are you doing? What's wrong?" I had to slap myself. I like who I am. Wow. And so it made me realise that is out there.
Wow. Now, I didn't obviously intend for our conversation to go in this direction, because these are raw, unscripted, unfiltered, but clearly this is a big issue that so many people talk to me about, especially having had my own weight loss journey, being big, being small, being big, being small, and the pressure, being trolled in media. You're in an industry now, you own magazines where a lot of people are looking at a lot of people.
And a lot of people are photoshopped, and a lot of people are using face apps, and I've done it. It's great. You look all of a sudden fantastic. Don't have makeup on, you put makeup on yourself, and we're going to look back and when we're old and go, was that me? Is that my authentic self? Who am I? And I think to accept ourselves is a hard thing. Accept who you are, accept the size you are, love yourself, and be content. Be courageous. Just throw it up in the air and say, that's me. I don't know why we judge and why we, I find myself doing it sometimes too, and I have to have a little chat to myself. I look at a woman, I think, oh, she's so beautiful. She must love being how she is. And then I think, oh, I wonder if she wants to be a size 10. Why did I think that? That's sad.
Wow. Do you think, and considering you're in the media as well, do you think is media, there's a lot of people that say media is to blame. Do you think it is? Or do you think it's social conditioning? Or what do you think is the cause? Because you're producing a magazine where people look amazing, and they do, but you also celebrate how people show up authentically in their own skin, however they want to identify.
Yeah, I think.
What do you think's going on?
Media is definitely to blame, and media of past, not always media of present. Media, fashion magazines, and fashion designers are to blame. So our past is skinny, thin. Clothes only look good if you're slim, which is an absolute lie, I know some gorgeous women that are size 18 and they come out in these colourful cat suits and jumpsuits and it just is absolutely stunning. And we need to desire a different shape. We need to desire our true healthy self, not our thin self.
And so this is one of the things I do love about your magazine is that it's really diverse. The people that you feature in there, they're inspirational people. They're business owners, they're entrepreneurs, they're people who are doing things differently. Like recently in iMagazine, you featured our lovely friend Miriam, who did a shoot with her mother over in Prague.
Yeah.
She's a gorgeous woman, a midlife woman, which I think are the new influencer, let's be honest.
Yeah,
because
totally.
she looks amazing. What prompted you to tell her story?
So I had met her through going to various events, and she came to some of our events, and she's just this dynamic woman who doesn't care about anything or anyone. She says it how it is. I actually saw her last night and we were having the menopause conversation, which is really interesting because that's something that also needs to be exposed now. People have hidden it and, put it over the side, you go sit in your cave, you've got menopause. No, you need to accept it. And, sometimes we might have a bit of menopause rage and want to hit our husband over the head with a fry pan. But the minute you acknowledge that and realise it's actually quite funny, so you find yourself laughing about it. So she's this authentic woman who we want to profile, we want to be closer to, we want to understand and know why things don't matter, why it doesn't matter your size, your opinion. Don't control yourself, don't box yourself, just be you. It's really important.
And I think there's a freedom, while we're on the menopause topic, I think there's a freedom that happens at this age as well, where all of a sudden you kind of care a little bit less.
Yeah, totally.
That you do get those rages and you go, that's just the way I am now. The other thing that I get is that being in a menopause body it's like being in a foreign country and you don't speak the language.
Yeah.
I don't know how it resonates for you. This is what I'm learning. And the cool thing is that I literally am having these conversations, and through conversations, through these shared stories, which I'm all about stories, right? Through the sharing of these stories, we just have that moment where we feel a little less alone.
Yeah, and I think the sharing of stories is so important, telling how you feel, don't be hidden. And I've seen it more and more in the media of late. People are talking about it. They're talking about, what happens? Why have I got that brain fog? Why did I walk in the room and wonder what I was doing there? Why am I feeling this sense of anxiety? And, for me, going on the patches, the hormone replacement was absolutely amazing. It increased my estrogen level, my focus. It's not for everyone, but you will find what works for you. But if you hide it and you try and pretend, it's not you, you'll think you're going crazy.
Yes, I hear that straight from a lot of people.
Are crazy,
we are crazy. We are crazy. So one of the other things that I've learned about you is, of course, that you are in that PR space and you represent and support and celebrate a lot of amazing women, not just Miriam, but a bunch of different clients around the world and across New Zealand, but you help them get global, basically. So for somebody who is a business owner or entrepreneur who is looking to engage, say, a PR company, what makes them sellable?
I think the first thing is, if you're working with someone, you have to believe in them. So when I'm meeting with a client or our team's meeting with a client, we have to know that they're authentic and real, and you have to believe in their brand. If you don't believe in their brand, if you think, oh, that's nonsense or that's not, how I would do it, then it's never going to work. So you have to hold hands and have a partnership, and you have to have trust. So PR is a little bit like a wave. One day everyone wants you, one day they don't. So it's about finding the right gap in the market for that brand and creating a story around it that is desirable. Telling somebody's story is so important. And, you look back to Michael Hill as a brand. He put himself on TV. He told his story. He was real. He was authentic. He was trusted. So now he has hundreds of jewelry stores, in New Zealand and Australia. So people that hide behind their brands, we trust them less now. And even when we look at a brand, we might be shopping online and we can't find a brand or we don't know the person behind it. We trust it less. We might not purchase from it. Yeah.
So it's about that brand loyalty. And at the end of the day, people buy from people, right?
People buy from people. Whether it's a car or a piece of jewelry, people buy from people.
All right. I want to talk about the magazine.
Yes.
Because you were talking about that with PR, you're riding that wave. And of course, the magazine industry has been a bit like that as well, especially when digital evolved. You as an entrepreneur and business owner, you're keeping multiple magazines alive as well as your PR company. How have you endured this time where suddenly a magazine became a Kindle? Effectively. How have you managed to keep on going and keep evolving?
Just stubbornness, I think. Put the blinkers on and keep going. But no, seriously, I think, there was a time, I think about 10 years ago, when everyone said magazines will die, they won't last, that sales dropped, nothing was selling in the stores. We took all our magazines out of the stores, we put them into places that people wanted to read them and people where they had time. So hotels, Koru lounges, Emirates lounges, into, the right places. And my passion for magazines has always been strong. I believe in the luxury of lighting the candle, painting your nails and reading a magazine, turning the pages and feeling the happiness you feel. And I don't think you can ever get that from being online. When you read a magazine online, it's not the same feeling. And of late, I don't know if you saw the Australian Financial Times, they issued a press release about the resurgence of magazines and how the new generation, they have never had a magazine. Everything's been online, so it's quite new for them. And
it's like the resurgence of vinyl records coming out, and this new generation are engaging with music again.
And it affects a different part in your brain. So when you're reading online, you're very, tense, and it's a work-related event. But when you're reading a magazine, you don't look at it like an advert or advertising. You see a sense of beauty and relaxation. So say you're looking at, the Sofitel brand ad. Online, you're going to click past it. That's an ad. In a magazine, you're going to look at the gold ceiling and you're going to feel a different feeling. So, magazines, I'm so thrilled they're coming back, quite frankly.
So I'm because every time I look through your magazine as well, it's luxury. This is the life that I want to live. You don't get that with the same feeling from digital.
No.
And I've worked in digital for a long time, and I know its power, I know its impact, I know how trackable it is. But when you're reading an article and then you've got this flashing advert at you, as opposed to something which is a little bit more seamless, which is integrated into the work of a magazine, it's a whole different experience, and it's so tactile.
Yeah, we click past online, but we don't on a magazine.
Yeah, it's right there for you. So magazines are making a resurgence. Yeah. Life is changing. We're maybe going a little bit analog. Maybe we're moving from being hyper-stimulated like we've been, thanks to, I love digital, don't get me wrong, I absolutely love it, but maybe the world is turning again. What do you think is the future for storytelling and showing up? And what's the world going to look like?
Authentic is a good word. We look at AI now, so I can write a story in 2 minutes on AI, but I know it's been written on AI. You probably know it's been written on AI. A series of people will. Not everyone will. But I think you lose that sense of being authentic by allowing a robot to write for you. So we're very careful how we use that and how we, the future needs to be, the word is authentic. If you're going to tell your story, be real about it. And use your own words.
I love that. I love that. Find your voice, use your own words. Oh, that's it. That's one of those Oprah mic drop moments. So from you must have over the years had a few funny stories and incidents you've worked with so many celebrities and in so many unique situations. What are some of the highlights for you?
Oh, I can't say all the names. I've had some hilarious moments. I've had some amazing moments. Yeah, I can't think of one particular that I would want to tell you.
That you're allowed to tell me.
That I'm allowed to tell you, yeah. Honestly, being around people creates, it's like when you go for a run in the morning, it gives you energy. for me, being around my clients and helping my clients and building their brands, whether they're established or not, it gives me my energy. And there's a story, I could tell you a story of every single client. I know what dog they've got, what car they drive, where they live, why they are passionate about what they're passionate, because it's not just about, here's my client, let's make some money. It's about a long-term holding hands, great relationship. And it's, I have the most beautiful clients. I'm so lucky.
I believe we create our own luck, right?
Yeah.
So well done you creating that. Okay, so final tips and tricks. You are beautiful. You are, like I said in the beginning, beautiful on the inside and out. And I've known you for maybe 10 years now, I think.
Thank you.
And just, you always, you walk with grace. You treat everybody like they mean something to you. It makes you beautiful. It's not just how you physically show up.
That's
it's
so kind.
that.
You are the same.
It's that inness. Oh, thank you. So what advice would you give to someone who's maybe not feeling in a great place, who doesn't feel like they can show themselves to the world?
That's a really good question. Stop caring. Stop caring about what people think. Stop caring if you need to sleep till 12 to be a better person. Stop caring. If you stop caring, what everyone thinks is sunshine will shine. It's you have to do what's right for you. Don't do what's right for your neighbour or your colleague who's got a business up the road. Smile at everyone and stop caring.
I can't even deal. I'm actually a bit emotional. It could be the menopause. It could be what you're saying. I don't know.
But it's true. You look at your life, and the minute you stop looking around and judging yourself, that's the minute you find contentment. Yeah.
I can't even. I'm going to blame the menopause. No, that's just amazing.
Yeah. And big cities are bad for us. You've got to get out of the city every now and then and put green grass under your feet and sand under your feet. If you can't, then just go walk in the domain and take a moment, just pick the flowers, lie on the grass. I think all Einstein's ideas were created lying on the grass looking at the sky.
I love that.
Did I just make that up? I think that's true.
You did. Oh, Vanessa, you're beautiful. Thank you so much for coming into the studio. Have we covered everything? Do you think we've covered everything? Have we solved the problems of the world?
Yeah, I think, but there's never enough time for you and me to talk. We have so much to say. We have, as you said, you have so many words to give people.
I have a million words inside my body.
But words are everything, and just keep giving those words to people and keep telling everybody's story.
That's what we're both here to do, right?
Love it.
Love it, yeah. Thank you so much. I've loved having you in the studio. Thanks, Vanessa.
Thank you, darling.